Hola, ¿cómo estás? Me llamo Bad YouTuber here. Hi to anyone watching on the second channel. If you've dug this up from a playlist or if you're here, which I kind of doubt, but fuck it, who cares? Um, Today I will be taking you through. Actually, this is just kind of an idea I had on the spot, just out of the blue. What if I were to do a retrospective of every single big production that I released on the main channel, Edditote? So that's what we're doing right now at 3:40 in the morning. A retrospective. Oh, this should be fun. Right, let's change a song and nah, let's get it something a bit more. Actually, I think the one that we had going was okay. I will just turn it down a little bit to the point where you cannot hear it at all. And uh but yeah, anyways, just all right. So what have I got in mind? The retrospective, the ins and outs of the makings of my latest productions on the main channel. Uh, it's saying that my fucking audio bit rate is lower. I don't care. We're going with it. It didn't have. There was no problem with it last time. There won't be a problem this time. Anyways, so what do I have planned? This. I've got this planned. We will basically be going through about 10-15 seconds, as long as it will take us, um, which shouldn't be that long. It's a 5-minute video, and we'll basically just go through the ins and outs and how every bit was made. If it's very self-explanatory, then I will just very briefly touch on it, if at all, just skim right past it. And for some of the bigger ones, I will probably go into a little bit more detail, but aside from that, that's about it. So fingers crossed my audio is fine, which it probably isn't because this is my second time streaming on this like weird new setup I've got going with OBS. But no one cares. Let's just let's just let's just Trump. Let's do this. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, fucking cringe ass motherfucker. All right, schizophrenia out of the way. Let's get on with it. Very simple. I'm gonna get up the editing software as well for anyone who wants to see. Very simple, just jumped into transitions and went into portals and took Mondrian, I believe. I took Mondrian and I put that in and I fiddled with it a little bit to make the squares be just 12. You'll begin to also notice that we're missing a lot of the cyberpunk footage. That's because right after finishing the video, I deleted all of it because I needed the space. I basically deleted all the episodes of Cyberpunk Edgerunners off my computer. But yeah, anyways, that was basically it. Just that and, the audio going big and then cutting back down to small. Anyways, let's continue. Night City is a Lovecraftian look into a possible future where cash is king, and where socialist ideals have been eradicated from the minds of the populace, paving way for corporate hive minds to take over. Now, Cyberpunk 2077... This is also a very, very archaic effect that anyone and their mum could probably pull off if you had the courage or the determination, willpower, whatever. Simply put, just video goes into I think it's the effect is Gaussian blur. I put a light Gaussian blur and then I basically moved in the logo of Cyberpunk 2077 with a smooth keyframe. Talk. I don't think we got there. Sheds light on what I just said in more ways than one. Only problem is that basically just just another classic fade in with the black and white effect. Um, as you can see, the keyframes over here, they just fade in. I think I used this is the first time I also used, yeah, I think I went from linear to smooth. I finally used keyframes for effect transitions or the effect movements. Usually it would just be linear. Anywho, let's continue. Let's just go back a second. Said in more ways than one. Only problem is that the game kind of blows. This is a very classic effect, and before we get on to that one that looked kind of more interesting, let's just briefly brush up on this one. Very simply put, just a lot of random sound effects, like this one right here. The wind sound effect adds quite a bit of finesse, you could say, finesse, with this footage that I downloaded off some guy. And here's what this YouTuber called Finzar says. Doing a lot of sound effects is good for a video, because I don't know, it brings it out for viewers or some shit, I don't know. So when the car crashes, you've also got the classic metal pipe. Classic sound effect, never go wrong. The goofy R car horn, which is just, I think, La Cucaracha. Still cracks me up thinking about it. And then we have literally just some Polish guy going, O kurwa. Add these all together and you get a pretty funny ensemble of just noise. And it's pretty funny. The outcome is pretty hilarious, unless you're just completely dead to the world. And then the final product is. Anyways, let's move on to. Just go back to this. And despite CD Projekt Red doing the exact opposite of what a game company is expected to do nowadays, we're still a long way away from a squeaky clean experience. Basically, CD Projekt Red logo over this footage, and yeah, just classic again, fucking with the footage's black and white filters to make it black and white. Just classic keyframing again, as you can see over here. Now the footage, the background footage itself, if we just let it run, I think with just the music. Yeah, the footage itself was actually done in Premiere Pro, which I don't know if you've noticed or not, is currently open in the taskbar. Now we move on to Premiere Pro. My goodness. For the first time in your lives, you're about to see the inner workings of my psyche, which isn't really that much, considering there's not much in there anyway. So, very simple effect. Of course, it's on 1.4 because I'm streaming and Premiere Pro likes to eat a lot of performance. So, what did I do here? I copied a tutorial from Finzar on how to do 3D effects, like a 3D screen sort of thing, and I don't exactly know how to make this work. How you open up the nested frame, but I think I could probably do it in the media browser. Libraries, info. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell or not, but I'm still getting the hang of it. There we go. That's basically the nested sequence that I made, and it's basically just the video itself moving as usual, and then if I undo the effect, an LED texture with some blend modes, like just that, but with hard light on, and then the thing turned down to about 12% opacity, turned down to 12%, and it kind of begins to look like somewhat cool. I don't know. Yeah, okay. and then once out of the nested sequence, you have the adjustment layer, and that is where nothing really happens just yet. That comes after this. You basically have the basic 3D. So as you can see, the if you can make out from the very low preview quality, it just slides down, which is very basic, as the title says. Of course, I could have gone far more bonkers with it by just completely fucking destroying it. Oh, hell yeah. You see? And it's gone because it's clipped through it. So let's just reset that before I... That was basically it. And then the adjustment layer was basically some masking. Gaussian blur, basically. Which only went around the edges. So it's kind of like an eye sort of thing. I basically copied Finzar's like 3D effect Premiere Pro to about every number, I think. Almost every number. And that is how we ended up getting this effect in the background of the video. That's basically it. Just did that shit in Premiere Pro. Anyways, moving on. Way away from a squeaky clean experience. So allow Studio Trigger to waltz in and give us an anime adaptation of Mike Pondsmith. Once again, very, very simple. Just oh, hang on. Just move the logo away, fade it out, fade in the trigger logo, which is actually, I believe, if I'm getting this right, it is color corrected. No, I think okay, as you can see, the logo is black, so I've had to fuck with the coloring. I've forgotten how I did it, but I basically flipped it to be white instead. I think I just basically looked up Vegas Pro black to white tutorial, and that's what I got. Anyways, next up, we fade in to the oldest trick in the fucking book, which is just put the normal photo in front, and since it is not 16 by 9 and it would usually just leave black behind it, what you do is you put the same picture behind, but then you stretch it out and blur it. So it doesn't look perfect, but you don't just see black background the whole time. Also, I made a fuck up in the thing by calling him Mike Ponfield, the creator of the Cyberpunk universe. I'm a genius sometimes, honestly. So yeah, track 5. I recorded over this. Okay. Original work with CDPR's added touches along. Just the logo going up, honestly. That's it. Oh, now this is interesting. This is where it gets very prestigious. I need to stop speaking like this. Alright, first things first, how do we accomplish this? We go up here, we see Vegas test pattern number 27, or whatever the hell. We've got a composite mode displacement map. If you look at the effects, I think it's open video track effect. There we go, we open up the displacement map, and what I've done here is simply just moved the horizontal and the vertical just a bit to the left and then closed it off at the end so that we wouldn't have problems afterwards. And by doing that, by moving the displacement map horizontal and vertical axes to the left, that's the right, you fucking idiot, to the right, we basically get, and if I go frame by frame, basically just completely destroys the fucking video. It's a very sort of new effect for me, which I might, what's the word for it? Just might include it in more of my videos, depending on if the setting is right. And also there's Pixelate and TV Simulator. Without all of these, you wouldn't get this effect. As you can see, it's a bit more, there's less glitch and there's just more screen tearing, but then the moment you turn on pixelate, you get the actual like sort of effect that you want for a glitch. Unless you're going for like a screen tearing sort of effect, I'd recommend putting on thing. Just putting on the TV simulator and pixelate. And finally for the pictures, why is there two of them? Nevertheless, these are just renders. As you can see, the text is gone from them. I basically just copied the snapshot, put it into Paint, save the picture, and put it in to basically make the transition process a lot easier. And that is how we get that. And with the sound effects, we just have glitch sound effects, and then at the end I cropped it, faded it out, and added reverb effects to it. Cathedral. And that's basically it. So, now for this. And I'll probably get copyright claimed. My stream will, because... So we're not going to play it properly. Actually, as a matter of fact, I probably can play it, but just for 5 seconds. Watch this shit. Very simple effect. Very simple. That's the wrong editing software. Very simple effect. I know you can't see it anymore, which is why I'm going to have to default to literally just going on this. What it is basically just... If it will load. It is just masking. Every few keyframes, as you can see, that much. So every time I think, the technical way of saying this, every time the drum, not the drum, like the, like when you see this, like every time one of these goes off, I basically just put down a keyframe, and then it put more of the video in frame. Just some random footage after this, and then just hang on. Cyberpunk Edgerunners. After that, very simple effect again. Just I think yeah, okay, yeah, very simple again. Just sliding it in. Sliding it in with smooth keyframes. And yeah. After that, it's very simple cutting.
Gives the viewer a look into Night City through the lens of David, a 17-year-old living in a world where equality is a joke you tell friends down at the bar.
This clip is very simple again. Just cut. It's a cut to a bunch of British guys fighting. Oh, that was very nice. That was very fun to find this video. And on top of that, we just add the it's a pyrocynical sound effect from like years ago that I think he still uses to this day, but the full thing is this basically. I just ended up using it for, oh god, we're gonna be here forever in this case. Never mind. And in this case, I just ended up using it for this very simple effect. Very simple. I call everything an effect because I don't know.
The first quality is a joke you tell friends down at the bar.
Very easy effect. Hit the dub. Next up is just more and more video.
The first episode alone is a rush of matching emotions. Mundane, frustrated, heartbroken. They all fit.
That's just over here. It's just basically, it overlaps one another and it basically does like a fade in effect. And I think I do it again one more time
They all fit
here.
together. They all show the viewer what life is like through the lens of someone who can't even afford to pay rent. Every day repeats itself like
Again, but less smooth because David
repeats
he looks up, I think at the trauma team that comes in.
itself like the last. Life now being nothing more than an existential shit show of mundane events.
Yeah, just basic cutting, talking about the story, whatever, in accordance with the script basically. Just when you do a video like this, you want to try having correlation between the shit that you're seeing and the shit that's being spewed out of the channel, the creator's mouth, basically.
Societal inequality leading to frustration from fellow students, all in a sea of heartbreak. That's life for the underprivileged in Night City. And when it all
Once again, cutting back to this can be a reoccurring theme. Basically the black bars, which is just another very simple effect that you can pull off on Vegas if I can find it. If I can find it, is it? Oh, I'm yawning. I'm tired. It is basically just doing this. Here, and then what you do is just hold Shift, wrong button, hold Control, and then you can stretch it, and then by doing that you artificially create black bars without actually making your video widescreen. If we go to this video and we it already is widescreen, you fucking plebeian. Oh right, I remembered. I made it like black bars on top and bottom to make it look widescreen to basically fit in with the transition to the ambience shot.
heartbreak. That's life for the underprivileged in Night City. And when it all
Here I did a pretty not clean, but with my voice drowning everything out, I basically blended two very different parts of Major Crimes by Health, um, to make this sort of like you can hear it overlapping. It doesn't sound. You probably can't hear it, but whatever. Anyways, it doesn't sound that clean, and anyways, it fades. It fades fully in. Here again in the anime itself, the song is completely different, but since I wanted it to end, I basically just fucked with the sound again and made it blend in. This is a completely different song.
it stops.
Now this part is the first, I think the second bit of NSFW. No, it's the first bit. It's the first ever moment of NSFW you see in the anime, and okay, bit of a backstory. When I was watching Cyberpunk Edgerunners for the first time, when I got to that bit, just as it cut into there, my mum fucking walks into my room and just I just burst out laughing, honestly, at how fucking perfectly timed that shit was. Anyways,
Did I by any chance forget to mention we're in the side?
once again, just blurred, Gaussian blur, but stronger this time around, and I used Gunter's Ding Dong song. Very classic. But what you don't notice, or what you probably skimmed past, is this.
Did I by any chance forget to mention we're in the cyberpunk universe?
The 1, 2, 3, 4 as we fade into the animation part of the video. It's basically from uh wrong editing software. It is from We Are Sex Bob-omb's song from the Scott Pilgrim's thing. If I just put it down here, you can basically just hear what it actually is. So I just decided, you know what, that'd be cool, so let's do it. And I did. So it ends up sounding like this. Not the cleanest, because it kind of changes audio quality, because the Sex Bomb sounds much cleaner than the Cyberpunk soundtrack, or the one I downloaded. But it gets the point across. It sounds clean. You're already bombarded with hundreds of noises, like you've got for this censored bit, you've got fucking the ding dong song, you've got all sorts of shit that you need to keep in consideration. So yeah, forgot that bit. I didn't forget.
To mention we're in the cyberpunk universe.
Once again, basic cutting, just nothing too major.
Studio Trigger took one glance.
Ooh, now this. Now this is where shit gets interesting. Turn this back to there. Okay. This is kind of common now for my channel, anyway, to do this sort of illustrative thingy-majig. You'll see this paper background come back in another video coming very, very soon. If you go to my last stream, you will. It's incoherent rambling, obviously, but basically, just I do explain what I'm working on. Anyways, back to this. Very simple. No, it's not. It takes guts to do this effect. Shit, I need sleep. Finish this and we'll go to bed. Anywho. Anyways, when these characters move in, let me just. There we go. I thought I made you. Okay. So the character moves in, zooms into a. It is actually just another snapshot that I've just zoomed in, and I'm panning up. But back to here for a second. Suit walks into shot. I've basically just cut the head out and replaced it with trigger. Once again, it's a classic case of using chroma keying because I'm not bothered to download Critter and or Photoshop and go through the problem of learning how to remove the background. My god, I am struggling. I should not do this shit at 4 in the morning. It's not easy. The guy goes in. I make sure the eyes follow. Basically, just playing a game of making sure that by the end of the keyframe, the eyes are practically in the same position that they were when moved. Because they're separate things. The guy stops, the eyes move to look at the shit. Then we have the panning shot. I'm yawning.
At Cyberpunk 2077 and went, yeah, we could probably polish this shit. And polish they did. With every use.
This is also kind of new. We can Just simple enough, just eyes move back to roughly their original position. If you have shit for brains, Trigger didn't actually polish this game. I'm just making an analogy here. And then we have the fucking legendary shit transition. Now, during testing, while I was making this transition, uh, I may or may not have rendered this piece of shit in 4K. Lens flares included. But yeah, this was a very simple, I'm saying it again, pretty, not that hard. It just took some elbow grease to do. Zooming in and just fucking with some of the settings because the lens flares, as you can see, they're cutting a bit. They don't fully lens flare themselves. Which, I mean, isn't a problem. I can live with that. But couldn't say the same for my OCD. Right, okay.
So the Sandevistan, every over-brutalized kill. I could go on for hours how much of a testosterone boost each fight scene was. The point being, Trigger
Once again, this is just simple. Throw the character in, put a background in, and then move them together like they're part of the same commune. Very traditional, sort of just. Oh, look. I'm putting down an image to represent what I'm saying. I was struggling at the time. Very, again, once again, very easy effect to pull off. I'm like the fucking very human guy. The one who makes inventions. Basically just pop it in. Pop this fucking video in at the bottom. Put the song over. And just continue with life. Once again doing the black bars. I'm yawning way too much. This has got to be unhealthy. Once again, just the black bars on top and bottom to fit in with sort of the atmosphere. I like this transition. Because it's almost as if everyone in the room is like, oh, look, it's the perfect life. I'm living the dream. I should have probably turned up the volume for this bit. Hang on. Apologies, let me retake that.
And by God, did they not disappoint. Giving viewers a window into the game with every phone call, cyber enhancement, and even the car physics as well. The quiet moments provide a view into the characters' feelings, and them finding solace from their daily happenings, allowing you to immerse yourself in the world of Night City just that bit more. Technological limitations be damned. David's journey.
Yeah, just a very basic transition of just cutting to the next clip. I don't know if you can tell, but I do utilize the actual sounds from the anime itself in some of these parts, because it just fits in better than doing sound effects most of the time.
That bit more. Technological limitations be damned. David's journey from idolater to idol starts rough.
Just fade in the sound effect. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I think it's around here. There we go. Just basically fading in the sound effect, if you can see over here. Gotta turn everything back. Too much effort, too much effort, too much effort. Yeah, basically just fading in the audio very simply and then just immediately putting it back down to 0 by the end of the clip. But yeah, just basically audio in and sounds like this.
Technical limitations be damned. David's journey from idolater to idol starts rough,
Not that clean, but it gets the job done.
and only gets rougher. Only after a few near misses with death does he begin to get lucky, meeting with a group of cyberpunks who are willing to give him a chance at redemption for yoinking their Sandevistan. Overall,
Okay, now this, once again, very simple, just sort of fading in, like the effect back at these parts, where he fades in from one bad time at the hospital
they all
to the second time. Just basically doing that again, but for this, because I think this is, he loads in the data when it starts. I think it's episode 3 or 4, uh, where they steal the guy's data, and he's basically jacking in to get data, and it cuts to, and I just decided to cut back to this episode 1. Like at the very end of episode 1 is when David is like, he's gonna try and get the fucking Sandevistan, the cybernetics, into his body, no matter fucking what. And he, every time it cuts angle, getting closer to him, it's basically just a glitch effect. So I decided to utilize that, and that's how we got this transition.
overall, this and other cybernetic upgrades all
As you can see, I tried doing it without an already other glitch effect in place, and it didn't look as clean as the first time.
come at the
Okay.
price of losing one's psyche.
It's true. Cyber psychosis. What was I doing again? Oh, right. Uh,
Other
the
cybernetic
text.
upgrades all come at the price.
The text. Once again, just utilizing the glitch effect. Sorry, the portals transition. To and then smash cut to cyber psychosis. This text that I put together in like 2 minutes, and it looks all right. So just going along with it. By the way, if anyone's watching, there are now spoilers. You should have known by now. You're watching me go over how I made the Edgerunners video. Ooh, look at that, big spoiler.
All come at the price of losing one's psyche, which he's forced to experience firsthand through the loss of his teammates, and eventually himself.
Fade in again for when David is just before. When David is just about to fucking splurge out like a billion grams of blood. That that is completely the wrong fucking measurements.
Eventually himself.
M- milliliters. There we go. I Englished good. Fucking hell, I'm way too tired for this shit.
Culminating in his final.
I fucked up the lines here, so I just put the text here.
Culminating in
How do you fuck up saying culminating?
his
Idiot.
final showdown against Adam Smasher, the series' infamous Arasaka Hyrie, and ending the anime off with a bang.
Now this, don't know if you can tell, it looks a little bit weirder, a little bit smoother. You can clearly tell that it's just kind of smash cutted to something a little bit different. That's because I made this part on Premiere Pro. Now, I'm not going to show you the Premiere Pro thingy because there's not much to gawk at. I just fucked with the contrast for one particular section, which is when Lucy and David kiss. I think you can tell it goes a bit brighter here. That was the contrast kicking in. And that's basically it. It's just classic, typical AMV where you put black bars and hope for the best. I'm not gonna play this part in full. You can watch it yourself. I'm not gonna ruin it. There's not much to ruin anyway. Actually, there's quite a lot to ruin. This is a very nice bit. Um, the music goes along well. It's kind of the juxtaposition between the sort of happy music, along with all the distressing, all the battle, all the like the death. It juxtaposes very well, I'd have to say. And like look over here, like the music. Saying it once again, the juxtaposition is very, very clear to anyone who is paying attention. Yeah, uh, just just cutting, and then this final bit, I basically try to recreate what I did with Noragami. If we look over at Noragami and Unbiased Perspective, let me just quickly censor it. As you can see here, I basically tried to recreate what I did in Noragami and Unbiased Perspective, and I did do it somewhat alright. It's a bit of a shorter bit, so there's not really much to gawk at for this part, as it like as there was in Noragami for this final bit.
Exact same.
You know something? This is how you've always been. But I
If you're curious who I got inspiration to do this to begin with, it was Paracynical. At the end of his review videos, he would do something along the lines of this, and I was like, fuck it, let's recreate that. Let's do it worse every single way, but let's do it my way. Because obviously my way is the better way. Anyways, um, let's just let me just show you how I did the text. You'll notice it if you pay attention.
whatever, Zoom. Like I give a shit.
I swear to God, that ending still gets to me. Like, just those endings that they feel like the story is good, but the endings that just feel like we wish we could have seen more of that character because we just started to get hella invested into them, and then they just oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. It If I had to give an example, hmm. Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2, the first time I played it, I cried when he died. Which, I mean, props to me, it was 2018. Um, so yeah, of course. But it's the sort of characters that you begin to get very invested in, and then the story just rips them away from you before you even know it. Of course, in prior episodes, you begin to see his condition deteriorating, and I think on the ninth episode, when David goes to get basically his meds so he doesn't go psychotic, the doc says that once the last one is out, you're fucking dead. Well, your brain dead. Sound like Andrew Tate there for a second. Your brain dead. Um, that was not it. That was not the accent he does. Um, but yeah, with the oh well, if you pay attention, I rough cutted it. I rough faded it out, so it jumps to from 100 to 50 to 0. Just watch. Just the little things. Every little helps. Also, one more thing. As it just play it. Just before this subtitle comes and I fade in from the song to the version of that song, but in the anime itself, because that was because somehow oh no, right, there was a montage just before this, so no wonder. I just got around to reading the fucking chat. Hey, you know, smash. Neat. And if you're wondering, you could probably see this anyway in chat if you're watching this as a VOD. Just in chat, Caesar made a point. Yeah, he does have a point. Yeah, you could. We may be able to see what more of David, depending on where the if season two wants to go in that sort of direction. Maybe, who knows? When I played Cyberpunk 2077 for the first time, I thought that was the end for V when he got killed. When he basically got fucking shot in the head by the guy you do the heist for, the gig, like when you see the Arasaka, the old ass man die. But no, he just fucking comes back with Johnny Silverhand's crap in his brain, basically just slowly turning into him. Which you could say is yeah, Decker Deshawn. That's the guy, the the guy who helped set up the gig for the heist. That is sort of Cyberpunk Edgerunners' version of cyberpsychosis, which we get to see in Cyberpunk 2077 with Johnny Silverhand slowly eating away at V's brain. That is basically their own versions of cyberpsychosis. But you could say taking a very educated guess. But yeah, also Johnny Silverhand does doesn't Johnny Silverhand do a terrorist attack like years before, like it was like decades before V's time. So, and where Cyberpunk Edgerunners takes place, you could probably say that uh, Adam Smasher is referring to David also being like what, being trapped in a fucking chip. Yeah, in 2013, and the story takes place in 2077. Edgerunners takes place, I think, a year before that. So yeah, just a year before Cyberpunk 2077. So you could argue that uh, Arasaka might have their hands on David's chip as well, not only Johnny Silverhand's. But who knows? Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see eventually. Anyways, we're getting a bit off track. Video thingy. Uh, Shit fades out. And this is the part that I don't like the most. This is the part that I'm kind of sad about rushing through. Because when I rendered this out, my god, when it finally finished, this part itself was having rendering problems. Like, it would say that it's remaining at 0 seconds and then jump to 40 and then back and etc etc. And you can see why it was doing that.
Having finished watching Edgerunners, I reached into
It's just fucking cutting constantly here. Like it's bugging. Anyways, it's gonna stop bugging now since I did something, I don't know.
my wallet and subsequently purchased Cyberpunk 2077.
By the way, this effect is very easy to do again. Gotta remember, I'm doing a retrospective. So yeah, yeah, as you can see, it's taking its sweet old time loading it. It's basically just my character in a background in Lithuania. I did take like some inside shots of a house for future reference of if I wanted to change the backgrounds from one dilapidated house to another. Uh, so yeah, these are just pictures with layer dimensionality, so it's not just a rough picture. So if we go here, then it just becomes a rough picture, and I don't like that. I want to give it a bit more layering to it, and that's what I basically did. Cyberpunk once again, basic cutting, specs. Those are my computer specs. i5 8400, 16 gigs of RAM, and a GTX 1050 Ti. That is how I make these videos on a machine like that. Uh, Again, Gaussian blur to blur it out, and then fade back in line with the text. Here, yeah, truly the. Hang on. If I just add a point, add a point. There's no audio, no gun audio. So that was a shame. Almost broke the immersion of that level, because level mission. uh yeah, and once again, one last time, same old effect from the beginning, just a different angle with some text. This moves in and then fades to what basically is the opening to Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
The anime itself, which came out on September 13th. In
And then finally the conclusion, nothing too major, just I like how it does not want to load the background. Here's the thing, I think I did record that bit. I did record that. I do remember. I did end up recording it. Hang on, let me find it. I did, as a matter of fact, record the beginning of that mission.
Porque ya tengo planes para eso. No, porque ya tengo planes. Years of merc working, like most of the more I but yet. Pulling the strings.
Yeah, I did record it. Seems like I just didn't have the right circumstances to see myself headless. I will say though, Jackie just fucking snapping into place.
No.
And doinkst. Un minute. Oh well, let's just get this finished up. Back to video. There we go. Back to conclusion. Very simply put, just rambling about my opinions, bugging out as always. The render never goes well for me.
with taken into consideration, I give Cyberpunk Edgerunners a 9 out of 10.
Another classic bit of using just effect. The portals effect.
It made me spend actual money on a game. How could you not like it?
Then this final clip here, just it's from a Snapchat. It's from a Snapchat Maps video I just screen recorded on my phone of the comparisons between. Oh, okay, I see it. One sec. Uh, uh, oh my fucking god. Nothing's perfect. Anyways, this bit here, it was from a Snapchat Maps recording I did. Basically, the comparison between Lithuanian Snapchat and Polish Snapchat. I think I can dig up the video. If I can find it. I can, because I'm smart. Okay, here we go. This is basically.
Yeah, you see that guy again. Yeah, then you go to Warsaw.
Very, very typical sort of just 2021 humor. Speaking of 2021 humor. I'm too tired for this. But yeah,
Punk Edgerunners a 9 out of 10.
but yeah, basically it. What does that say? That says XX an unbiased perspective coming very soon. Oh, I wonder what could it be? I'd give it like the end of this month. I'm just joking. Give it until like the start of next year, and it'll probably be done by then. Let's be frank here. Let's cut the bullshit. I say that the next production will be done by the end of this month. Let's cut this. Let's cut the crap. It might. It. In my dreams, it'll be done by the end of October. uh, well, that was basically it. That was the retrospective of Unbiased in 5 Cyberpunk Edgerunners. That's how I did it. Basically, just an hour-long show playthrough of my editing. I did just call my editing a fucking playthrough. Yeah. I am very exhausted. I will now go to sleep. Thank you for watching this. If you just have this on in the background while you do something or some other stuff, or if you're here right now, it doesn't matter. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming along to the second channel also. I did say I'm going to start posting, and I am. I just have a lot on my plate that I need to clear off first, as all of those billionaires on TikTok tell you. Do everything one at a time. Do things one at a time. Don't try to do like 5, 10 things, because then you're just gonna get overcrowded and not be able to do anything. But yeah, that was basically it. Retrospective, unbiased in 5 Cyberpunk Edgerunners. I do hope you actually enjoyed the video that came out of all of this two weeks of work. And let's be frank here, this is a good example of what happens when I just put my foot down and get a video done. Obviously, I really liked Cyberpunk Edgerunners, and I still do like it. It was just sort of the prospect that it might go flat by like the 2 week point. So I managed to just get in on the trend while it was still pretty fresh. You could say like the first 2 weeks is like still fresh out of the oven. So I was just barely able to make it before it started to get kind of lukewarm. Love the analogies. So yeah, this is a good example, like a good case study of editing done right when I can just put my foot down and get shit done. Obviously, can't say the same thing about the next video I'm working on. I've been working on it for now over 100 days, and there's just no, you just can't translate the enthusiasm from this to that. There's just no way of doing it unless you give me money. Give me money, and I'll probably translate that enthusiasm into something. But yeah, anyways, I do hope you enjoyed. Thank you for sticking around me ramble on about how I do my work free of charge, in the hope that the clout will eventually lead to something better. Now, I'm legally obliged to tell you that I do not do this for the money. I only do this for the views. Fuck, I only do this to keep people happy. I do this because I want to do this. That's my legal obligation done. Yeah, I'd love to see money. Money. 4:47 in the morning. Good night. I like money.